Hello, English teachers! Are you ready to power up your English class? Here are some tips for using visual tools with your students to enhance language learning. Just like the common saying, seeing is believing, in this video, you will see how visuals can be beneficial tools for students. For example, through using visuals such as posters, graphic organizers, images, and infographics, students enhance building their vocabulary and understanding how the language works. Being able to see how language is used in multiple ways can build students' confidence and language production. Visual tools can be as simple or as complex as you would like to make them. Let's start simple. Do you have a chalkboard, whiteboard, or poster board in your classroom? These are all resources that can be used for visuals and instructional purposes. If you keep it simple, then you and your students will likely use them again and again for other language learning tasks and activities. Making visuals too complex for students can lead to confusion and unnecessary frustration. So keep it simple. Visual tools can be used in so many ways in the language classroom. To activate prior knowledge, support language production, integrate cultural realia, and assess student comprehension. In this video, you will see examples of visual tools that can be used to serve some of these purposes. Let's get started with the visual tool known as graphic organizers. A graphic organizer is described as a visual aid that helps language learners understand important ideas and their relationship to one another. It can also help students learn key academic vocabulary and grammar so that they can engage with each other about content area topics. Graphic organizers can be used throughout all academic and proficiency levels of language learning. One of the best ways humans learn is by doing. When using graphic organizers, it is important for you to introduce the graphic organizer as a support for your students to actively organize the content through selecting vocabulary and making meaningful connections. After your students have had sufficient time practicing and using the content within the graphic organizer, then the support can be removed or taken away. Then the students can be challenged to use what they have learned without it in front of them. With so many graphic organizers from which to choose as a visual aid, many teachers wonder, where do I start? Let's begin with the end in mind. Use these questions to guide your selection of a graphic organizer to use. What do you want your students to accomplish in your language learning task with this visual tool? Will a graphic organizer be helpful in laying out a framework for the completion of this task? Or to follow a model for a specific language goal you want them to master? If you answered yes to these questions, then a graphic organizer can help your students with organizing the language they will need to complete a task. Let's review a commonly used graphic organizer called the concept map. In a concept map, you write the central theme or the topic in the center circle, and then surround it with lines that connect to the outer circles. Inside the outer circles, you write the subtopics that extend that theme when discussing the topic. For example, to introduce the vocabulary relevant to the unit on saving the earth, you might decide to use a concept map to see what vocabulary words students already know for saving the earth or protecting the planet. Let's try out a concept map using this theme as the central idea. First, write the topic in the center circle, such as actions to save the earth. Then, draw 5 or 6 lines out from the center circle to extend the topic into more specific categories, such as relevant vocabulary or actions that demonstrate saving the earth. What topics would you write outside of the central idea? This is when you could tell your students to brainstorm what those specific topics could be, such as recycling or composting. From there, you can extend the concept map further with more specific vocabulary to discuss these issues by asking questions such as, what types of materials can you recycle? Such as bottles, cans. And what types of materials can you compost? Such as fruit peels and eggshells. Tell students to write these specific examples on the lines extending from each subtopic. Great work! Graphic organizers can be used in so many ways to present an idea for comparison, organize one's thoughts, or showcase student learning. We just learned about several different ways you can use graphic organizers in your instruction to support students' learning goals. Are you interested in challenging your students to process their language learning even further? Have them create their own graphic organizers that situate the learning material in the best way for their understanding. I bet you will see so much more than they can tell you, and you can use this task as a formative assessment. Thanks for watching and learning. Now let's go do it.